Welcome back to the channel, and today is the first day that it is not in the negative degrees Fahrenheit at my house in Kansas City, Missouri. So the pipes haven't frozen, and I'm bringing you another video. And this is probably a video that's a little bit more focused than most, because we have had several people that have reached out to me directly or to my wife, and they've said, we're going to Merida, we're gonna stay at the beach. And most of the time I say, why do you want to stay in Merida? You want to say, what beach town are you staying in? They say Uaymitun, like what we stayed in. We just had a couple of friends that stayed in Uaymitun, literally at the same beach house that we stayed in. But we hear Telchac Puerto, we hear Chicxulub, we hear Progreso a lot, which is awesome. But that has a lot to do with the video that I'm producing today. And the reason for that is when they went to those different destinations, we had a couple of pieces of advice. And the first one, though, was the most important. And it was actually one that we had feedback on that said this was the most important piece of advice that you gave us. And that was where to stop to get the things that you need. So that's what this video is about. It's when you go from Merida to Progreso, and whether you go to Chalem or you go to Uaymitun, where is the place that you need to stop to get your food, to get your stuff, to get your drinks? That's the most important one. To get all of those things when you get there. So today's video is basically that. Where do you stop when you get to Progreso? Before you get to your house on the beach, to get all the things that you need. It's a very specific video, but I know most of you that have been there probably want to hear this first. So again, my name is Alexander Howell. Please feel free to visit me at alexanderhowell.com or visit me at any of these social media links. You can always find me at Alexander from KC on pretty much any social media. Please feel free to text me at 816-727-7740. And of course, and without question, if you like this video, if this is helpful, which I think it might be, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That's going to let you know anytime that I go live via streaming or one of these videos is posted. And outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy. Once you decided that you're going to stay on the beach as opposed to Merida, you know that you're going to fly in and you're going to travel north on 261, which is the highway that goes from Merida proper to Progreso. Progreso is kind of the main beach town. Just think of it that way. And this is the lesson that I try to tell every single person that goes into Progreso. And there's a reason for it. And I'm going to explain it real quick, Cliff Notes version right now. So the first night that my family and I flew there, we had an interesting ordeal. Now, we had a rental car company that was amazing, but it took a long time to get through the initial paperwork. We'd never been there before, so it took us forever to kind of figure out the city, how it was laid out, even though we'd researched it before. Maybe we were ridiculous, probably so. We eventually figured out a way to get all the way up the circle of the Merida Highway, which there's a name for that I keep refusing to look at. Follow me and we'll figure out different videos. But you go north on 261. That's the most important thing. Now that takes about 20 minutes. It's a very smooth, very good highway. About 2 minutes before you hit Progreso, have it on GPS. There's good internet. Have it on GPS. About 2 minutes before you hit Progreso, slow down, because there are some speed bumps that are not well lit. And I know that because we just launched. We went straight Dukes of Hazzard on them. So 2 minutes before Progreso, make sure that you don't hit the speed bumps that launch you like Dukes of Hazzard, but you hit those and you get into Progreso, and there are two roundabouts in Progreso. Here's the lesson. The first one you take will take you north to the beach. Obvious answer. The other one takes you west, and then you come back and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. The first one, if you, gee, I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. So the first one takes you north, and this might seem like a very minor detail, but it's really important, because if you are going to any of the beach towns to the west, to the east, doesn't matter. There is a gas station right on the northeast side, and there are two shops that I want you to remember without question, never fail on this, because they are both ridiculously convenient, and as much as people shop there, they have everything. Here's why that's important. So the first one is going to be on the east side. If you go around the roundabout, it's going to be on your right, and that's the Bodega Herrera. And I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is kind of the Walmart of shops. So it's not going to have the grocery store stuff that we're going to talk about in a second, but it has all of the things. So you can even see like mopeds and stuff like that sold outside of it. This is where you need to pick up your pool supplies and your random stuff. Just go in there, have a great time. But the Bodega Herrera is amazing. And when you're leaving and you're pulling your car out, there are going to be people there that are helping you to pull out. So make sure that you have some pesos to hand them, because they're making sure that nobody runs into you as you try to get to your destination. But the Bodega Herrera is big, it's intimidating, but it has everything that you could possibly need. And it is on, again, it is on the east side of the main road. Now let's talk about what's on the west side. So when you go to the west side of the street, that's where Soriana is. And it's nowhere near as big as Bodega Herrera. And I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, because I'm saying it a lot. Either way, though, it's nowhere near as big, but the parking lot is absolutely sufficient for the amount of people to go in. And when you go in, you're going to see everything you would expect in any grocery store ever. And it's all laid out very, very, very well. The positive thing that I noticed was there were several times where we would just need to come in town, get food, head back. That was it. That was the only thing we needed to do. My wife and I were there for 2 weeks just on our own. We had family that visited there in the very beginning, family that came at the end. But for about 2 weeks, it was just the two of us. So we needed a place where we could go into, get all of the food we needed, and then GTFO, if you know what I mean. That was the place that we did that. So we came in, we got all of our meat, we got all of our tortillas, we got all of our eggs, milk, everything that we could possibly want. So we got in and out really easily. And that is where we always tell people to go. If you are going to stay on the beach, if you're staying in Progreso, or you're staying in Cholem, or you're staying in Uaymitun, you're staying in Tilchak Puerto, aim for Soriana, because it's going to have everything that you need, plus. And it's easy to access, easy to get in, easy to get out. It's by Highway 27 and 261, which when you're down there, look it up on Google. You're going to see what I mean. You're going to be good to go. So Soriana, number 1. Bodega Herrera, number 2. Now let's talk about why we tell people to go there as opposed to another place. And that other place is Super Aquí. AKI. It was an amazing grocery store. It probably had more stuff than anywhere else that we had been. And it is in Progreso. And it is in the middle of Progreso. And it is the busiest place I've ever seen on God's green earth. It was absolutely insane. And if we were staying in Progreso, that's probably where we would have gone without question. Soriana, away from the main area, not busy. Bodega Herrera, busy, still away from the main area, different type of store. So here's the reason that I told you about Soriana and Bodega Herrera first. This is the reason. When you go into Progreso, it tells you that the number 1 grocery store is Super Aquí, and there is a reason for that. It is a well-stocked, really big, well-stocked grocery store, and that's where we went first. But the problem is that we had rental cars, we're not familiar with the area, and Soriana and the Bodega are really close to the main highway, and they're not as well traveled as Super Aquí, which means that for people like us, tourists, or whatever you want to call us, that just made it very easy. The Super Aquí is right in the middle of Progreso, which is a very positive thing if you're staying there. Unfortunately, we were driving rental cars, and this was really our first time getting into the middle of the town of Progreso. And the way that we experienced it is we had to wait a couple of stoplights, get to where the Super Aqui's parking lot was, and then it is a very small U-shaped parking lot. So if you go here, if you don't find a parking spot, you leave, and now you're gone and you have to redo it. Now, we did that twice before I just jumped out of the car. And if it would have just been me, my wife, and our 2 kids, my wife would have just circled the parking lot or Progreso or whatever it would have been, and then I would have come out with a bunch of groceries and thrown them in the car, and we would have left terrified not for a negative reason, just because they was really busy. Now we got lucky because my dad is awesome. He was in a car right behind us with my mom, and he ended up actually pulling into that U of a parking lot and making friends with the guys that were helping people park. And he just found parking spots. I don't think legally, I don't think right, but he's Rick Howell, and Rick Howell does Rick Howell things. He was able to find us a spot. My wife came in, he directed her into a spot because he's Rick Howell. You do what you do. But I came out with groceries, threw them all in the car. We all got out and it was done. But I've got to tell you that if we would have known about the Soriana and the Bodega, it would have been a much easier trip. Even though Super Rocky had everything we needed, the other places would have as well. So all of this long story that I know all of you guys are going to be in the comment section saying, why is he talking this long? This video could have been 5 minutes as opposed to 20. Here's the end of the story. When you get into Merida, if you stay on a beach town and you're heading to Progreso on 261 and you go 27 east or west, I'm going to tell you the easiest thing in the world that you could possibly do. And I'm going to say it at the beginning of this video too, so you guys don't complain as much. Stop at Soriana, stop at Bodega, and get gas right by that gas station that's on the same circle as you are. And you won't regret it. And for those of you that do, make sure you comment and tell me how much you appreciate my advice. No, seriously, it's the easiest thing in the world. When you're going north, you're going to see two circles. Go around the first one, go north, left, grocery store, right, Walmart. Thank me later. All right, so that's the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, my name is Alexander Howell. Please feel free to visit me at alexanderhowell.com, fill out the contact us page, and that sends me an email directly. Sebastian, my editor, is going to put all of the social media links right there. Normally, you can find me at Alexander from KC, or send me a text message at 816-727-7740. And last but certainly not least, please feel free to like and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. That's going to let you know anytime that I go live or one of these videos is posted. Again, my name is Alexander Howell. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, and as always,